Hey everybody, welcome Postgame here at Pat Doherty Field in Centerville on Go Hills TV, powered by JBS. I'm Dwayne Cook with the head coach of the Warriors, Matt Torrez. A split today for the Warriors against visiting Ellsworth, 11-9 in Game 1 in the 7-inning affair. And then the Panthers come back Game 2, take it 10-4 in 9. Coach, starting back on Game 1, you know, the bats really came to play today, especially against a guy for them in Dahlhoff who had a great year numbers-wise coming into today. I feel like you had to be really happy with that performance.
Yeah, we played pretty well. It was a hard day to pitch early. Wind blowing out, it was warm. Guys, wanted to be a part of it. And so, I was just trying to tell my guys, like, especially in those games, like, fundamentals are so even more amplified,
Sure.
Walking guys, making errors, whatever, giving them their longer innings. Like, that really forces the pitchers to be even better. So we did a decent job, and offensively we did a pretty good job. So it was good, and I just think we just obviously didn't carry it through the rest of the day. I mean, we didn't hit terrible in the second game.
Right.
It just we struck out a lot in the second game, and so that's really, especially with the things that we do offensively, it's really hard for us to be even more offensive when we're doing that.
Well, and in the second game, too, Ellsworth threw a pitcher who, at least from the numbers we had, hadn't pitched yet this year or at the collegiate level at all. So how difficult was that from a scouting perspective to really have an idea on what he's going to put out there until you see him for an inning or two?
I don't think it's that big a deal because you don't see anybody in college very much. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Right,
Like, there's just, at this level, it's really hard to get information on people. So, I mean, when you come out here on a daily basis, you're flying blind a lot of times because not everybody has the technology, and so they might not be on video, and so we're seeing a lot of that. It's just he wanted to be a part of it. Like, it was his first time out. He was energized by it, and we didn't match it. We didn't match it.
One of the things, too, in Game 2 that really stood out, among others, was 6 out of the 9 innings, we get runners on, but we don't get them on until there are 2 outs on the board. And it's really hard when that happens. There's not a whole lot of room for error in that sense whenever that happens. So I'm assuming a big message of being productive earlier on in innings is going to be a big focus.
Well, just not that. Like, especially the 2 outs were just non-productive outs. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know how many strike 3 lookings we had today in the second game. So, it's just not it's not how you're going to win baseball games. And it was tough for both sides. They traveled, they came out and wanted to play. They had a long weekend, and we looked tired in Game 2. Our energy was down, but we'll try to pull it back together and get going again this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend going to Norfolk, Nebraska. Got a little road trip yourself there to take on Northeast for a 3-game conference series. What's the week look like here? I mean, we're looking at some winter weather, it sounds like, on Wednesday, but to get prepared for the weekend, how does that look for your guys?
Well, like this week, I told the guys already, well, tomorrow's going to be really nice. I'm sure they want a day off, but they're probably not going to get it because we're going to have to get out here and get some in because we're not going to get anything in on Wednesday.
Sure.
So, we'll get out here and do something real light and work on some things and try to clean some things up. And then Wednesday, I'll give them a day off. Matches up with the weather. And then on Thursday, we'll see. It's supposed to be 50, so we'll see if that, if how much moisture we get, and see if we can get out here on Thursday. And then Friday we'll travel. So, and we'll play Saturday, Sunday, and we're in it now, right? Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday. So we're in the middle of probably things that we have so many freshmen, you know what I mean? Like, some of these things that they're just not ready for, as far as like mentally knowing, hey, day in and day out and day in and day out. So we're gonna get a nice little look at what we need to do, and then hopefully we can catch our breath and get going again.
Just kind of a general thought on pitching today. I know it's coming off a 3-game set from the weekend. You really have to start reaching into the bullpen and having some guys that haven't gotten a ton of innings thus far on the year out there as well. And we know Ellsworth swings some really good bats, and they displayed that today as well. But your thoughts from a pitching perspective today?
I don't think we were really, really bad. But, like I said, it's a hard day to pitch. Wind blowing out, hitters feel comfortable when it's the wind blowing out and it's warm, and they feel good about themselves, and and you just get going, and you're trying to be as productive as you can, and they were pretty good in the box today, man. They were really good in the box today, so it was a hard day for us.
And individually, just from hitting wise, first game, 3-4 with Lopez and Ramos, they don't record an out. They were outstanding. Kevin obviously left the yard for the first time this year here at home anyway, and You know, that jolt, that gives the guys a jolt, no doubt. I know that fired up the guys.
Yeah, I thought they had good at bats all day. You know what I mean? Like the worst at bat Jose had was at the end of the game, right in game 2. But like I thought they were the two guys that the entire day gave us quality at bats. So we need more guys to jump in there and I tell the guys it's not really if you're getting a hit, but like how quality is your swings? Like they made some outs, but they're like. Their at bats and the way they're taking pitches and the swings they're getting off and they did a really good job. It was really. And I was actually talking to Dave in the dugout. I'm like, man, these guys like had a pretty good day, and not just obviously the output is good, but like just watching them in the box and you're like, hey man, like that's a productive at bat. You know what I mean? That's a production. Even if they make an out, it's productive because the swings are better. They're getting better. We're young and we need at bats and taking advantage of every at bat and being like, hey, that's a productive for us to get better, moving forward.
One element that we talked about in the broadcast, especially in Game 2, I know Ellsworth racked up, I think, 18 hits ultimately in that game, but gosh, it felt like about 2 handfuls worth were just some of those that landed in no man's land. And sometimes that's baseball. Sometimes that's the way the ball ultimately falls there. How frustrating is that from the guy's perspective and then obviously from your perspective, too, in the dugout?
I'm sure the pitchers it's probably pretty frustrating. I've learned I've learned in my years those balls don't fall like that if you don't elevate the baseball.
Right, that's true.
If they're down, they're usually like a ground ball. So I've learned through the years that that you're kind of getting the bad luck because where we missed. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Sometimes. So I still think we did a good job. It just that happens when the ball's elevated and we struggled to get the ball down in glove side a lot today.
Right.
We really did. So,
final question. Again, road trip coming up, going to Norfolk this weekend for ICCAC action, then back on the road next week before heading back home here to take on Iowa Central. How great was it for the guys, for the coaching staff to be able to finally be at home, play in front of a home crowd as well, and pick up a few wins?
Yeah, I think it's always nice to be home and get some home cooking and, you know what I mean, just sleep in your own beds and take a little time to regroup. But, it's not baseball. Baseball is played like at home, on the road, at home, on the road. So, you know what I mean? Like you get some home stands here and there. But, I think in baseball you got to really, really understand that part of baseball is being on the road and how to handle that and be professional about it and understand that, you're not going to feel good sometimes.
Well, Coach, not the outing we wanted today ultimately across the whole day, but great to pick up a win and split here against Ellsworth. We'll try to get them up there in early April. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That'll do it for us. Post-game here at Pat Doherty Field on Go Hills TV, powered by JBS.